Hello, my name is Sharon Fitzpatrick and welcome to my YouTube channel, Lifestyle with Sharon. Today I'm going to be showing you how to make macaroni cheese, but not only am I going to show you the normal way of making macaroni cheese, I'm going to show you something that is a little bit different that you can do with it. So keep watching to the end so you can see what that second option is. So I hope you enjoy the video, and if you do like the video, I'd love it if you support me by clicking the thumbs up to say that you like the video, and also comment. I'd love to hear from you and I will answer you back, and share it with your friends so they all know about the YouTube channel. And if you haven't done so already, do subscribe to the channel and do encourage your friends and family to subscribe to help grow the channel so that I can share my recipes with more people. Thanks very much for your support. We've got a pot of water here, boiling water, so we're just going to add our pasta. Right, so in our other pot, while the pasta is cooking, we're going to add some butter and let that melt. Right, so into our melted butter, we're going to add our flour and just keep stirring. And this needs to be on a low heat, and this is what we call the roux. The general rule of thumb is one person is 20 grams of butter, 20 grams of flour and 250 ml of milk. So obviously if you're doing it for 4 people like I am today, you just times that by 4. And you cook this for about 1 minute. Now you want to add a small amount of milk and then just keep stirring and it'll get really thick again. And then you add a little bit more milk, just small bits at a time. And the secret is just to keep stirring. About halfway through cooking, just give this a little stir to kind of separate all the pasta so it doesn't stick together. Now I've used macaroni pasta because that's the one that I love. And to test it to make sure it's ready, just take a piece out, cut it in half, and if it's still got a bit of white on the edge, then it means it's not ready. But this one doesn't seem to have any white, so that's perfect. And I'm just going to test it, and yep, that's lovely, that's perfect. So I'm just going to get a colander and drain the pasta, and then just put a bit of hot water over your pasta and just give it a bit of a shake to get any excess water out. And then you just pour this back into your pot. So as you can see, this sauce is looking quite nice now, just a nice consistency, and that's ready to go into our pasta. But just before we add it, I'm just going to add 1/4 teaspoon of pepper, 1/4 teaspoon of nutmeg, and 1/2 teaspoon of salt. Now I don't cook with a lot of salt, so some people might want to put a teaspoon in, but me personally, I'm quite low on the salt. So just give this a stir for a few minutes. So what we want to do now is make sure the heat is off and leave it for about good 5 minutes before you add your cheese, because if you don't, it could potentially curdle and you don't want that because that's your sauce ruined. So we'll just add the cheese and it will melt into it. So if you find that your cheese is not totally melting, at this point you can turn your heat back on again to warm the sauce up, and that will totally melt. So as you can see, this cheese is melted now, and look how lovely that sauce is. Perfect consistency, beautiful colour, and if you wanted to get a teaspoon and taste that, it's delicious. So we're just going to add this into our pasta now. So we're just going to pour it in. And we'll just give it a stir. So all the cheese sauce will go into the holes of the pasta, so it will get nice and thick. Of course, this is just delicious on its own. You can just eat it straight like this, but I love to put it in the oven. So I'm going to put it in a dish now. So now for the second option that I'm doing, I'm going to need to put it in a slightly smaller dish, and you'll see why afterwards. You want a very thin layer of your macaroni cheese, and then you just put that to one side and let it cool, and I'll show you in a little while what I'm going to do with that. In the meantime, I'm going to pour the rest of the pasta into a nice big dish. And then I'm going to put this in the oven and I'll show you how it looks when it comes out. Okay, so as you can see, this is the pasta macaroni cheese that we took out the oven, and I'm just going to sprinkle some fresh parsley on there, and I'm just going to dish this onto a plate. So I'll just put some parsley on, homegrown parsley for decoration. So this is delicious, this pasta, and when you do it in the oven, it just gives it that different flavour and texture, and it's gorgeous. So I'm just going to have some of this now. This is really, really nice. So I'm going to show you another one to do with this pasta in a minute, but this is absolutely gorgeous. So nice. Right, we're just going to let the pasta go cold. Right, so once it's gone cold, I'm just going to take this out. And you cut a circle of pasta out and get rid of all this excess. Do you know So what I did here was I just cut thin slices of chicken. I put some olive oil on and just spread it around with my fingers. I put some paprika on and some Cajun spices. And then I just rubbed the spices into the chickens like that on both sides. And the oil just helps spread that around. And then we're ready for frying. So in your pan, we're just going to fry these for about 5 minutes on each side, because they're nice and thin, they won't take long. Okay, so now what we're going to do is the pasta that we covered earlier in the egg, breadcrumbs and flour, is we're going to just fry this. And it's nice if you do it in the chicken juice, gives it more flavour again. And see how nice this chicken is looking. Just keep turning this chicken over until you think it's cooked the way you want it. Okay, so we're just going to turn these over after a few minutes. And look at that, doesn't that look nice? Okay, so I'm just going to put our pasta onto a plate, and then I'm going to take some nice flat chicken pieces, place it on the top. And you could do a little bit of spinach, actually, would look very nice actually there. Or tomato. And then place the other bit of pasta on the top and serve with a few bits of chicken on the side. Okay, so I've just got some homegrown pak choy. I just literally taken out the garden, and some freshly grown spinach as well. And we'll serve it with a few tomatoes. So here we have our pasta. You would never recognise that with pasta, but it is pasta done with the breadcrumbs and the chicken served inside. So it looks like a burger. So let's just cut this open. So we'll just tuck into this and just cut this open. And you can see how delicious this is with the chicken and the pasta and the lovely coating on the outside. So I'm just going to try a bit of this. I'll take a bit of chicken, and now I'm just going to try this. That is so nice. That is lovely. Definitely recommend trying it this way. Thank you for watching today's video on how to make macaroni cheese, and I hope you enjoyed it.